Werewolf here. If you're a conservative or on the right-leaning or libertarian, and you want to make art, now is the best time. And I'll explain in more detail at the end of this video why I think that, despite what the doomers, the black pillars, might be pushing. But first I want to recommend this video by John Doyle called Why Conservatives Can't Make Culture. He portrays us on the right as fixated on wasting our energy on anti-woke boycotts while buying overpriced alternative non-woke items like a beer or a coffee that needs to be shipped to us. He ridicules conservative fantasies of a parallel economy and essentially says, what, are we going to start our own S&P 500? Pointing out that while these boycotts like the Netflix, Budweiser, Target, at best only make a temporary dent in the earnings and haven't changed the minds of these big global companies pushing woke culture, when we should be striving to produce our own work and culture, something that will endure over time to promote the culture that once was and the culture that we want to see moving forward. And to a large extent, I agree with him. Well, I largely agree. There is one point that I'm here to challenge. He says, don't make art that is explicitly right-wing. Instead, make art that shows something like, say, traditional family values. And while I know what he means, I'm going to say, if you have an idea for something creative that is explicitly right-leaning, and you think that you should produce this, then you should. And while I have seen a great share of such right-leaning art that isn't that good, that wouldn't appeal to anyone outside of our circles, and people in our circles only like because we agree with it, but it's actually not that good, because we don't have a whole lot of artists on our side producing stuff. I have seen some good stuff that I like, while it runs the risk of being dust in the wind, there's still the possibility that your art will make a niche for yourself. You really can't commission creativity. But in the long run, I think we should strive to produce art that lasts and will endure and is not necessarily specific in its politics. Perhaps you're not the creative type yourself, but you could seek out and support like-minded creative people. I know a lot of influencers on our side are black-pilled every day, but maybe this is the time because Hollywood is down. Hollywood is struggling. Yeah, they're still doing well, but they're not meeting their own expectations. And right now, for you, it's easier and cheaper than ever has been before in the history of art. You could buy a camera and sound equipment at Best Buy. I think that was one of the companies we were boycotting back then. I can't even remember. It's a lot more accessible than it's ever been for any artist in the past. And from your own home, from your basement, from your room, you can essentially produce and self-publish something on your own. Look, Hollywood is at a weak point, and this is exactly when we should be taking advantage of things, not falling into despair, not wasting our time over complaining. I also like John Doyle's point about how conservative influencers are pushing trade school, but don't actually do trade school themselves. But if they're pushing young people to become lawyers, I'm going to add teachers and politicians, in the long run, that would do a lot, and that would be very empowering. Well, thank you for watching, and until next time, life, liberty, and the pursuit of raw.